I think our kids are, excited about the opportunity we have this week with the number 4 team in the country coming into Pittsburgh. So it is a well-coached, it's experienced, again, especially when you talk about the quarterback position, mature, athletic team. And they pose a lot of problems, whether it's on special teams, offense, or defense. We've got to be locked in, focused, and go out and execute. And it's got to be one play at a time. And that's kind of what we're prepared for and what we've preached all week.
Pat, they have so many receiving options. Are they unique in that standpoint where they've got a number of different guys that
I don't know if they're more unique in that than other teams. I mean, everybody's got, they got 6'7", they got 6'4", they got 6'3". I'm sure Wilson will play, the 6'7" guy. They're just, again, they got receivers, but they also will go, we call it a 21 pony where they, have a tailback and number 9 will be a receiver, and he's a tailback, but he's athletic. I mean, they got different personnel groupings that they can attack you with on the offense side of the ball, and they like to change up personnel. They're not just going to stand in 11 personnel the whole game, but their personnel is pretty good.
You mentioned size. How do you coach up your corners to deal with that kind of size?
We've worked against some big receivers, big tight ends this week just to give them that, they're going to have to deal with, big guy, 240-pound guy, 215, 20-pound guys. And it's something we've done in the past. It won't be the first time they've seen big guys. We've seen big guys before. But they got to lock them down. Doesn't matter. And, we'll try to get the best guys on the best guys if we can, depending on the tempo of the game. That's something we won't know until we get into it, but they will tempo. We're not going to huddle. Notre Dame huddled last week. This team will not huddle. So, I don't want these guys running like this. We'll see how that goes.
Pat, looking at their secondary, I don't think they allowed a touchdown pass all month. What do you see similarity-wise to what Notre Dame's secondary? Is there any similar traits there?
Yeah, they're different coverage-wise. Notre Dame is more of a man-free. And then they got into some, cover 2 trap, and got into some cover 2. So cover 2 trap, and played a lot of man-free. Again, Florida State will, base out of quarters. It'll be very similar to what we are. So that's the big difference. But they're athletic and they can run, and they're really good.
Christian talked about that cover 2, at least the shell that they would sometimes show, but when they disguise things. How do you?
You talking last week or this week?
This week.
Yep.
But he talked about what they could do and how there might be some similarities around Notre Dame. Some things. How do you coach him to work through some of those progressions when those disguises are coming? How do you study those and get that on the field?
Yeah, well, Coach Signetti, will do most of that. Try to stay out of that whole deal. But that's a quarterback coach's job to help him disguise pre-snap what's going on. You'd like to know pre-snap. Everybody talks about disguising coverages, whether it's in the NFL, Pee Wee football probably doesn't talk about that. But disguising coverage is important. So if they do a good job disguising, we got to figure it out post-snap, right? And post-snap is harder than pre-snap. If you can have a clue of pre-snap what they're going to do, then you're ahead of the game. Okay. If you don't know till post-snap, then the clock is going, right? And then depending on the pressure, if you got to hold on the ball for a tick longer. What happens there. Bad things, happen when you hang on to the ball too long. So we got to have a pretty good job. We got to do a good job, pre-snap of, having a good idea of what we're going and where we're going with the ball pre-snap and go from there, because they got, defensive line is pretty darn good. And, they got some elite athletes. Speaking
of defensive line, Brian Bear talked to us about how you guys have focused on running off the ball this week in practice, just trying to get that leverage on the offensive line in the run. What are the challenges you guys have to face with this tough defensive front with Florida State as far as establishing the run?
You got to make some plays, and I always say this: a great back, you got to be your own blocker. He's going to have to make some people miss, and we got to block him up front in the run game and the pass game, and it starts up front, guys. We can all talk about something else, or we've talked about it's the ultimate team game and team sport, and guys got to make plays up front, and it takes 11 guys, whether it's a receiver blocking, cracking a safety, or an offensive tackle blocking a 3 technique. We got to be on the right guys. We got to get a hat on a hat in the run game and the pass game. That's how things go. It won't be one guy's deal. It'll be 11 guys.
Pat, Florida State is number 4 in the country, and there's only 4 spots in the CFB. Are you concerned they're maybe looking for more than just a win, but for style points in this game?
Jerry, I'm worried about a win too. So we're worried about a win. I'm not worried about style points on our end. I want to go out and play one play at a time. I'm not worried about style points. Can't worry about it.
Do you remember scouting Jared Verse coming out of high school or when he went into the portal from Albany?
It's a great question. I think he's from New York. Is that true?
No, Eastern PA.
Eastern PA.
Central
No,
Columbia. You gotta
don't remember. I
represent.
almost want to go back, and watch where he was. Obviously, everybody in the country made a mistake on him, but he's a heck of a football player. And that's right, Central Columbia High School. Won a lot of football games out there. So, been to that high school and don't know how we missed on it, but we made a major mistake, and so did a lot of people on Aaron Donald.
We talked to Frank yesterday, and he was talking about his relationship with Christian. How have you seen that grow, and kind of happy with how those two are working together?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm happy with the way Frank works with all his quarterbacks. They love that room. They love the culture in that room. He's done a great job, and all those guys they feel really good with what they're getting coached to do and how they're being coached. And there's a love in that room too. I mean, they get along really well, all of them. They communicate with each other all the time, and it's a good room.
Christian said yesterday, I mean, Notre Dame brought a lot of blitz and brought a lot of extra pressure at him. As a defensive coordinator, as a defensive coach, do you look at it like, yep, that's what I would do, and I'm going to keep doing it until a young quarterback shows he can handle it and deal with it?
No question about it. I'm sure Florida State will bring some more. They bring pressure as it is, so and we knew Notre Dame did as well. So we're gonna have to protect it and give him a little bit extra time just to throw the ball and find an open receiver.
You even lost a game in November, going back a couple of years. Does something special happen after Halloween or something?
Right there. I don't know. I sure hope maybe it's something we got to do a great job coaching. Saturday we got to put our guys in position to make plays, and then they got to go make plays. So I don't know if it's a magic of Halloween is over or not, but November is here.
You said the other day you had Florida State number 2 in your USA Today poll. Who's your top 4?
Jerry, I'm not going to give you that.
gave
I
us
gave
one.
you Florida State.
Well, that's one, so I can't get the other 3.
Don't get selfish.
Am I allowed to? I mean, I think I've got Georgia obviously, and I think I've got Ohio State, Michigan. I think is that who the 4 are right now?
Yeah.
So I got the top 4 right. And I've had them there all year though. That's the thing. I've had them there all year. When I do my poll and I do it myself, EJ doesn't do it. When I do it, I take time either Saturday night and Sunday morning to make sure that thing's right because my name is on it. So I take my time, and I'm pretty good.
What do you look at when you're making your poll? I mean, are you reading stuff? Are you looking at
No,
stats? What are you looking at?
no. Just to feel, just who they are, and you see enough tape, and if you get a chance to watch a game, which I haven't watched many games with all our 3:30 and night games, but I've watched less football. But you got to feel for who they are, and I know the coaches, and it's not that I like the coaches, I just know who they are and what they bring to the table as far as I know how they're going to coach, and I know they're not going to slack in any way. I mean, good coaches, good teams.
Anything changed in the last couple of weeks with your poll with everything coming out about Michigan and what they've been up to?
No. I mean, you can't base the football team based on what they've done. As far as just on the other stuff and the spies and all that stuff. So I'll stay out of that so I don't get in trouble. I got a lot of respect for Harbaugh and Michigan and what they do, but it's not a good look.
When was the last time you watched a football game on TV just for entertainment?
Oh, last year? I don't know.
Not this year yet, right?
No. No. I wish I could watch tonight, but I probably won't have time to do that either. May catch the second half.
And who have been some of the younger guys who you've seen step up in practice with increasing focus or maintaining focus as you guys have dealt with adversity?
That's a great question. I mean, you look at Biles and Bass; those are the first guys that come to me. BJ's been playing, so we expect him to still be locked in. But it's a great question, Chris, because there's one guy that I got to mention, and we've got 4 games left, and he has not played. And we got a green light on him right now. His name is in green right now. Is Cruz Brookins. He's going to be a phenomenal football player. We like how he plays fast. He just keeps getting smarter every week. He's got more reps this week than he has. But I'm excited about his potential, not only for the future, but I told Coach Powell, we just got done with a meeting, don't be afraid to put him in the game on kickoff. I'd rather his first play be on kickoff or kickoff return or punt or something like that instead of on defense. But just to get his feet wet, there's a lot of pressure out there. It's not easy. So he's really done a nice job. And Izzy Polk was another guy that's just staying locked in. He's played 2 games. He's got 2 to go. And I don't want to waste him for 3 plays. I'm saving it. We've been fortunate at the receiver spot to stay healthy, but he's ready to go if needed, when that time comes.
Do you feel like you have a group of young guys like that have kind of showed promise and stayed focused through moments that have proven a lot, that there's a lot on this roster for the future?
I think so. I mean, it's hard to tell. I mean, like, you guess, you're talking about youth, and you got to develop it. And, I think I talked Monday about experience. And that's why it'd be good to, like, okay, Polk, if he gets a chance to play 2 more games, I want him to get experience. I don't want him to get him for 2 plays on special teams. I want to use him. And the same thing for Cruz. I mean, I don't want to, we don't want to do that. I want to get him experience because that's only going to help in the future. We have to wait till next year. We'll find out. I don't want to wait till, 2024 to figure out, is this guy going to make a play when the time comes, or does he need more reps and more time? These are the best opportunities to get him in is now. But trying to win football games too at the same time, so it's risk and reward.
On the note of an experience, and just building experience, is it almost kind of a blessing in disguise maybe that all of these younger players are kind of going through their growing pains together? They have someone to relate to, and that eventually all of them are going to be, more experienced at the same time. You're going to have a pretty deep and experienced roster.
Yeah, it's good for the future, but it's not good for right now. I don't care about the future right now. I care about one day at a time. I care about what I'm doing today, what we did yesterday. I worry about yesterday, I worry about today, I worry about tomorrow, and then I worry about Saturday. And, that's why we try to be calculated with who we're playing, when we're playing. Let's don't make sure hold him, don't play him. There was talk last week about Cruz, and I said, do not do that. Waste him at the end of the game. So those conversations are going on all the time just to protect guys and get the most that we can out of them if you have the chance to. But ultimately, I'm not taking Donovan McMillan out to put someone in to get experience trying to win a football game.
Pat, do you think that
Jeff, go ahead.
Do you think that rule has worked out well for the coaches and the kids? The 4-game rule has.
I think it's a fantastic rule. I'm not sure. With the portal we have right now, why not just let the guys play? And I won't worry about we'd have probably played Polk. We'd probably played Cruz last week just to get him in the game and see how he reacted instead of waiting until the number 4 team in the country comes in. It should be unlimited. What are we talking about? Let's just give him 5 years and open it up. We may change all kinds of other rules. We got name, image, and likeness. We got the transfer portal. Why do I have to hold on to him? Let me play him if I want to. I won't feel guilty for playing for 2 plays. There's times early in the season that Jordan Bass is looking at me like, come on, coach, put me in. I'm feeling bad. Don't know if I want to play yet early in the year. You feel bad. I don't want to hurt the kids. I want to help them. And, if they just open it up, then I wouldn't feel bad throwing them on kickoff and let them go just run down the field as fast as you can and hit somebody. But so many other rules have changed. But 4 is better than what it used to be. And they've also this year, finally, you got a bowl game that, you could eventually get into. And play him, and it doesn't count as one of the 4. So that's a huge rule, which we've struggled the last couple of years with that rule because we've had guys in that 4 game that they wouldn't give it to them. 2 years ago, they said, we'll give it to you. Well, no, you can petition to get it. We petitioned to give the petition to nobody. Don't waste my time asking me to petition and not give it to us.
Do you feel like you burned
Last
more?
one.
Do you feel like you burned more red shirts this year compared to past years? Obviously, the pandemic, you could have played anyone or with everything, but aside from that year, do you feel like you've been playing more true freshmen a lot more?
I think we've got 6 true freshmen that are playing right now, so
Yeah.
we've played more,
Yeah.
whether we wanted to or not. And I wouldn't call it burning because we're not burning anybody. Burn means like you wasted someone. That's
Yeah.
what we're talking about. We're not doing,
Mm-hmm.
but we're not burning anybody's. But we want to protect them and get them as many plays as we can in those 4 games. And if they're going to play, like BJ's not redshirting, so and we certainly didn't burn his redshirt year. We played him, and I always say this. With red shirts and all that, you never know what's going to happen. If a kid plays in 5 games this year and he didn't get a chance to redshirt, you never know what's going to happen next year. He may, break an arm and not be able to play the entire year. Well, that's his redshirt. Thank God he got the 5 years or 5 games in the year before. So you never know what's going to happen year 2, 3, 4, or 5. I've had guys play their first 3 years start, get into the 4th year. I had a guy break his leg. Frank Farrar broke his leg in the opener. That was his redshirt year, his 4th year, which he thought was his last year, and then he played the following year. So you never know. The redshirt is, there's only one guy who knows what's going to happen in your future.
All right, Coach, thank you.
Okay.